There are two ways of being in the world if you're an intelligent creature. One is where the present is this hairline division between the past and the future. And the past exists in memory, largely for the coordination of some agenda in the future. And that's history. That's how the historical mind works. It coordinates the past toward the future. It's the idea of progress. It's the idea that we are on our way somewhere, and each generation should take a step down the road. You know, these kinds of metaphors of movement. And then Mercillion talked about, and we could adopt his terminology, he talked about profane and sacred time. And he said history is profane. Every moment is unique, and every moment anticipates the future. And then he talked about the other kind of time, sacral time, where every action is what he called paradigmatic. That means every act is a repetition of a ritual act that occurred at the beginning. And so every father is somehow the first father. Every mother is the first mother, and people are conscious in the living of their lives of reenacting the paradigmatic activities. This is what we mean by the wisdom of the ancestors. You know, the wisdom of the ancestors is the paradigmatic activity, and there is a Tao. I mean, it's real. For instance, there is a way, I'm not sure I know it, but there is a way that McKennas have picked up small objects for thousands of years, presumably. McKennas, my people. And if I pick up an object that way, that's the easy way for me to do it. Because the Tao of the ancestors is blowing through the action. If I leave the Tao of the ancestors and do it some other way, it drains energy. And so the anhistorical people are always attempting to recreate an original perfection. And the historical people are the ahistorical people are trying to create an original perfection in the moment through their existential validity, through their being, through their soul, we say. That's what we mean when we say they have soul. The historical psychology is all about this stretched dimension of obligation, that there was a fall, that something must be fixed, that when it is fixed, then there will be this sense of satisfaction. But until then, somehow, you know, we are flawed. St. Augustine said, "O felix culpa," "O happy flaw," because he saw that flaw as permitting the drama of redemption. You know, I would offer a big no thank you to the drama of redemption. I would just like to go get loaded in the woods myself. But so, and here, let me see if I can now connect this to what I wanted to say this morning, which is pretty close and maybe brings this all together. History is not something that we do. this is part of what the problem has been. We have thought of history as something that we do. History is something that is done to us. And therefore, we are not responsible. This is the first thing to understand. History is a process. It's like waves in the ocean, and you are a cork. And for the cork to struggle with its moral responsibility for the waves in the ocean is for it to woefully misperceive where in the cosmos it's actually located. See, what happened to there are two ways of seeing in the world. There's the world of space. And this is the world that we have conquered. Literally, the phrase, the conquest of space, we know what that means. The world of space is coordinated through the eyes. And it is the place where history is enacted. But there is another way of seeing. And we pay lip service to it without really understanding what it means. The third eye, if you want to follow that metaphor, or let's just call it the inner eye. The inner eye does not see space. The inner eye sees time. And if you do not have an inner eye, you are blind as a bat when it comes to time. And this is what we did. I mean, we blinded ourselves at the beginning of history. We stabbed out the inner eye. And this is why history is a blind groping, Western history, because we can't see the landscape. We closed off the inner vision that shows you the unfolding topology of time. And the way we closed it off was by abandoning psychedelic experience. That's what the psychedelic experience is. It opens the inner eye, and what the inner eye sees is time. There are two ways of being in the world if you're an intelligent creature. One is where the present is this hairline division between the past and the future. And the past exists in memory, largely for the coordination of some agenda in the future. And that's history. That's how the historical mind works. It coordinates the past toward the future. It's the idea of progress. It's the idea that we are on our way somewhere, and each generation should take a step down the road. You know, these kinds of metaphors of movement. And then Merciliade talked about, and we could adopt his terminology, he talked about profane and sacred time. And he said history is profane. Every moment is unique, and every moment anticipates the future. And then he talked about the other kind of time, sacred time, where every action is what he called paradigmatic. That means every act is a repetition of a ritual act that occurred at the beginning. And so every father is somehow the first father. Every mother is the first mother, and people are conscious in the living of their lives of reenacting the paradigmatic activities. This is what we mean by the wisdom of the ancestors. You know, the wisdom of the ancestors is the paradigmatic activity, and there is a Tao. I mean, it's real. For instance, there is a way, I'm not sure I know it, but there is a way that McKennas have picked up small objects for thousands of years, presumably. McKennas, my people. And if I pick up an object that way, that's the easy way for me to do it. Because the Tao of the ancestors is blowing through the action. If I leave the Tao of the ancestors...
Yo, what's good, everybody? Happy Monday. Happy Monday to you.
And so,
I hope you're all doing well,
and historical people
enjoying the day out there.
attempting to recreate an original perfection.
Some trippy Terrence McKenna music for you this morning.
Are in
Hello, Roku-sai. How are you? Let me turn off this background noise here. Ben is here too. What's up, Nanowires? How you doing? Happy Wednesday, you guys. I missed you guys on Monday. I had a migraine that just would not quit. It just would not leave the house, unfortunately. What do I have for you today? There's a couple of freebies to be aware of. There's a new reverb from Dawsome in collaboration with Science of Life. It makes ambient music. So it's a nice pairing there. It's a textured ambient reverb. You can grab it for free. There's a link in the Discord and in the chat here. There's also the daily Advent calendar promotion happening over on the Ghost Hack website. You can pick up free sounds every single day for the first 24 days of the month there. Several of the packs were made by me. You guys got to see me make a bunch of those sounds on stream. What else? I haven't had the chance to swap out the sound pack yet this week, but it is on the to-do list. So if you have not grabbed Gold yet, which is sequenced Foley drum loops, go grab that now before they disappear. It could disappear like immediately after the live stream today or tomorrow morning. It's happening as soon as I can get to it. What else? I think that might be it for now. Oh, there is an 80% off sale over at the OMLab site right now, too. So, Count Trax, you are here. How are you? There's an 80% off all sounds. It is a code of BF2025. I'm going to type this into our chat here really quick. Gets you 80% off all sounds. All right, there we go. So there's a couple of freebies and deep discounts, and go have fun. If you are actually looking for new stuff. I'm actually really stoked this week, because I'm a big fan of modular and semi-modular synths, and we have been surprised twice over. I mean, there was a small leak leading up to the release of Absinthe 6 this week from Native Instruments, which is super awesome. Very stoked about that. And Zebra 3 was announced by Urs. Yuhi is dropping that immediately. It's an open beta right now, so you can go grab it, play with it. It's only a $30 update, I think, for current owners. So cannot recommend them enough. Couch Tracks saying, I'm good. Working in Serum 2 as well. Making some weird bases. Nice. Nice. Weird bases are always good. I agree, Rokusai. All right, so I have no major agenda or order of operations to follow inside of Serum 2 today. I have a couple hundred sounds to make of every shape and form. So I think I'm just going to play freely and see where inspiration takes me. I've made a handful of sounds already, so I do need to stop and take stock soon of exactly what I have. But for now, we're going to continue to play kind of freely. Might be working on some pads today. We'll see. We'll see what we actually end up getting up to. Yeah, I think that's it. It's just going to be kind of a chill stream today. So, if y'all got, like, the usual questions, requests, whatever, just give a shout in the chat. I'm going to turn off all of this stuff. And then we can dive in. Let's see here. Let's collapse this guy. And we'll put in a new software track and get Serum loaded. See what kind of weirdness we can make today. I would like very, very badly to share what I have been up to behind the scenes recently, and I cannot. So I'm just going to say that and leave it at that and hope that that helps satiate my desire to blab. There's some fun stuff coming in 2026, you guys. Ooh, Rokusai saying, hey, I had this insane spur of creativity bubbling this week, but then the F-35 started training. Anyway, I wrote an almost full track in 4 days. That's rad. That's so fast for you. That's so incredibly fast for you. That's awesome. How many sonic booms have you heard? We have a municipal airport pretty close. Well, we sit between an international airport and a municipal airport and several different little, like, agricultural strips. Anyway, the bigger municipal airport out this way has a huge air show every year, and there's military jets that are involved in that, of course. And then there's also the Air Force bases that are over here, and we get a lot of experimental craft testing and whatnot. For the past several years, and it happens at a very specific time at night, which is always really interesting, but they like to do these things at night, so people can't see what's actually happening. But whatever it is that they've been testing for the past several years can sit and hover in place and move around fairly freely, but it is loud. I mean, so loud. It sounds like some sort of well, it sounds like a massive, like, jet engine, but it's just like it just sits in one spot for the longest time, and then it'll kind of creep over somewhere, and then at jet speed it'll just be like whoosh. But it's been doing this for several years, and man, when I am trying to get stuff done at night and that thing shows up, I'm just like, man, not even in the dead of night when it's supposed to be silence can I escape these weird sounds. I feel your pain, Rokusai. I really do. Oh, at least 5 booms. Ooh. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, they're not supposed to do any kind of sonic booms over the urban areas here either. Yeah, it's more just the really loud flyovers that get us here. How long is that going on over there? What's up, Nano? How you doing, homie? It's been a minute. You doing all right over there? Is this thing on? Hey. Nice. I made music. It's lovely. What do I want to start with? I said maybe we'll work on some pads, but I think maybe what I'm feeling a little bit more right this second are some keys. So maybe I'll make some keys and then we'll make some pad action or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out along the way. Oh, the shape is so important, isn't it? Let's get into a little, little sine wave action here. Make sure we're on smooth for all of these today. And let's... Yeah, let's do a wavetable on this, and let's go with something... Ooh, Rokusai saying they're doing a full week of practice till Friday. Has to do with the fact that the Dutch are now patrolling the borders at Poland and Ukraine. So the jet guys are doing some needed training for the if the Reds come situation. Dude, I'm very upset at the state of the world right now. Couchtrax asking, hey, how versed are you on making sequence patches in Serum? Have you noticed any cool updates in regards to patterns in Serum 2? Yes, because they put in an entirely new arpeggiator here, which they did not have before. We had to use the LFOs to build our sequences previously, so it was a lot more hands-on. And I think there's still good reasons to make your patches that way in certain situations, and I think that the ARP is super helpful for all of the others. And then there's also this clip, which is a piano roll, lets you launch MIDI clips basically via quick little triggers. So yeah, a couple really big updates in regards to that. So ARP for the generation, clip for the programming, and then of course the updated LFO engine to get away from the standard types of LFOs and get into both custom drawn paths, which could this actually makes for really cool sequencing of like supportive elements because you can make very interesting repetitive journeys for your sounds, right? And you can attach an LFO or assign an LFO to basically any parameter, right? Freely, including pitch. You can use this for drift and get a lot of really awesome sauce kind of baked into your melodic patches. And then, of course, there's the new chaos options too, which are both really cool. But back to the question at hand. Yeah, man, the ARP, I think, is probably the biggest. The ARP and the clip. Ooh, you just got it. Yeah, there's a lot to take in. My advice would be to soak up and appreciate the changes that you're hearing in the quality of audio. And maybe if you have a whole bunch of patches from Serum 1, start bringing them into Serum 2 and move away from phase distortion and move over to real FM in those patches and save them again. So you've got real FM in those patches. And that'll give you a kind of a fresh update to a lot of your sounds kind of immediately. Yeah, there's so much stuff to take in Serum 2. There's a lot of updating that needs to happen. Like there needs to be a lot of optimizing, but it's great. It's great. Rokusai saying, hey, OMLab, the chaos option was AU5's idea. He made this super saw with the options on the global page and nagged Steve about making it happen on the main page. That's awesome. Oh, man. Or could I say, and I talked to Austin about this, if you see why you want to make his super sauce his way. Man, there are so many clever people out there, you know? All right, let's get the global. Let's get a little variation going in here. Just a little simple drift to get going. Alrighty, getting better. Very nice. Let's see here. What if we actually put a... Maybe we just do like a little up and down here. Something like this on this FM here. Okay. And how about we take... Let's also just take maybe even the same envelope, and we're just going to tweak the wavetable position just slightly here. It's got a little hiccup to the sound. Yo, anti-jerks. How you doing, homie? Okay, how about... I think I'd rather use a band pass for this. Hmm. Maybe I'll do this unidirectional. Okay, and now let's just bring a little modifier over here. I think we need a different one. We're going to use just a really simple guy here. Yo, W and B, how you doing, homie? All right, let's get to some processing here and give this thing a little bit of character. Oh, oops. All right, let's give this a little bit of control by way of this macro here. We're just going to assign 1 to the decay parameter on envelope 1, and that's just going to open this up. Let us really transform this thing from short to very long. All right, so we'll just call this one shape. All right, let's start playing with our voice layering control with our macros really quick so we can kind of control the timbre the way that we want to. Like for instance, we might want to also incorporate a little bit of FM into oscillator B so it can kind of come up in tandem with oscillator A. Okay, so the other one is going up and coming back down. We're actually going to take this one and we're going to bring it up, and we're going to use a separate envelope for that because we're going to hold it there instead of letting it come back down. And then we can aux control both of those FM assignments with a macro. So let's go ahead and do that. And we'll put that. Let me think here. We're probably going to put that on macro 6, just to kind of keep some consistency with other patches. Okay, so that was this one. And then it's also this guy, which is envelope 2. That's a warp, so that's this guy right here. So now we've got an auxiliary control over our FM. All right, let's get a little vibrato in here. Do a couple of things actually. Let's do, we'll do this vibrato and then let's just bring that up and dial it in really quick. right, now let's put in a little warp here. Ah, I'm ignoring you guys. Sorry about that. Glad you're doing well, anti-jerks. Ooh, weird reggaeton, huh? Nice. How did the Masters sound when they came back? VWNB? 19th, huh? We do need more aftertouch modulations. Let's make that happen. Zeep Xanthorpe, yo, how you doing, homie? Okay, let's go with our matrix, and we're just going to mess with a couple of things here. Welcome in, Kel. Happy Friday, or what day of the week is it? It's hump day, right? It's Wednesday. It's like, I'm just on autopilot saying happy Friday. It's right in the middle of the week. Oh, that's great. Hope you're doing all right over there. Okay, we're going to put into our rack here, and we're going to move this up to the top. Let's put this detune up here. No, that's not going to fit. Instead, we're just going to do this the old-fashioned way. We're going to say, we're going to take our aftertouch, and we're going to assign this to fine pitch here. Just going to bring this down a little bit. Of course, this will really mostly just affect the sustain sound. It brings like a nice little tape quality to it, right? That aftertouch. That's kind of nice. Leaves it feeling kind of unstable. Yeah, gotta love that. It does sound a little bit like an Oberheim now, huh? Yeah, you get that nice little balancing act with your fingers going on there. All right. It's got a bit of the boards kind of feeling to it, doesn't it? Like SEM. That's nice. Okay. That aside, we still need to do a few things here. Let's get a little noise. Oh, and I was just about to add a little warp. So let's finish the warp assignments really quick, and then we'll come back. I got distracted with the aftertouch there. It's feeling like the 80s in here all of a sudden. All right, let's finish this sound, shall we? Um, hmm. That makes me laugh, Rokusai. Just doing a little light audio editing with the air show overhead. Oh, man. What's going on? All of a sudden, I've got weird latency on my keyboard here. What's going on? Oh, weird. My keyboard is sending through multiple notes all of a sudden. That's really weird. Let's turn it off and back on again, shall we? That's a weird little thing. Okay, let's see here. We are back to normal. Okay, so when we bring our decay out with the shape macro, I think we're actually going to bring our sustain up just slightly here. It's still going to remain like a key. That feels a little better. Yes. Oh, Rokusai, the first time I read your comment, I read it as cat was laying on the sustain pedal, and I'm like, yeah, same. My cat will like just sit on something. All right, so we got a little phase happening. I think I also want to adjust the attack on this, but just by a couple of milliseconds. I think I brought the sustain up just a little bit too much. It's kind of stepping on itself. Oh, Rokusai saying my cat used to kick off one of my monitors years ago when I was still living in an apartment, and bam, crash, 6 kilograms of expensive Fostex on the ground, hole in the floor, chipped wood on the speaker. From then on, I learned to tie wrap them to the stand. It's amazing the hoops we jump through for our cats, right? Saffron, how you doing, homie? How you doing? It's good to see you. Hope you're doing well. We're talking cats. I'm going to pull up one of my simple shapes. Oh, wait, do I not have... I don't have those anymore, do I? Let's make it then really quick. Why can't I use all of my version 1 LFOs? I thought I could. Can I not? I really can't. Huh, yeah, that sucks. So I've got a ton. Alright, so we're just going to let this roll at a super low clip here. And this is going to affect... well, I'll use this on a few different parameters here. just set this up here. Main. It's getting fat down there. It's starting to develop. Uh, Saf, I have not picked up Absinthe 6 yet. Um, I will at some point. I'm excited about Zebra as well. I haven't picked that up yet either as well. I need to kind of stay focused behind the scenes right now, and I can't discuss what I'm working on yet. Probably for like at least another month. I won't be able to talk about it, but I need to stay focused. Yeah. I know everybody thought Absinthe was done. They did such a great job of keeping it all under wraps. I do wish that they had incorporated more new into it from what I've seen initially, but I haven't touched it myself yet, so we'll see. We'll see exactly what the updates to the mutator actually mean. Um, yeah, yeah. My guess is that there's been some audio improvements, but again, I haven't played with it, so. Okay, we're going to go up just a hair more. We're sitting at 1% right now. Yeah, that's feeling like some analog weirdness right there. Hmm. Rokusai says, I wonder why they don't make just one single workhorse synth with all the modules like Massive, Absinthe, Arc, etc. in one interface. They have the tech. Why not go UVI Falcon and make it a unified thing where you can buy individual modules for it? That kind of ecosystem is much more manageable, or via their reactor interface. Yeah, I've been saying for a long time now that what they should be doing, well, there should be a couple of things happening. Like, we live in an age where they don't need contact scripting to be a hassle. That can be assisted. Like, they can easily make that happen. Um, and it would make their contact stuff much more usable for people who actually do want to use it as a sampler, not just load, sample libraries in it. Um, but yeah, the reactor thing, I think that bringing all of these things together would be the most reasonable way to approach all of this, right? Because, uh, I mean, I've been working with Native Instruments stuff for like 20 plus years, right? And helping other people along the way the entire time. And like 99% of people have never even touched Reactor, or if they have, they really don't know what it is they're even expected to do in there. And the same exact thing goes for Contact, like outside of loading an instrument and playing through some presets. So I think they've really done themselves a serious disservice in regards to um, denying access to people for a really long time, and like what that's meant to their brand and their tools, because they have incredible tools, and people do not, by and large, use them. They use piecemeal aspects of these tools, and it's really disappointing to see because it leaves a lot of these folks in the Native Instruments ecosystem chasing other plugins constantly, thinking that there's some other um, better solution or something. Uh, yeah, that's a struggle. That's a struggle. Roku says, I love Contact for sound design, but the UI is terrible for building your own patches. Yeah, exactly. And it really doesn't need to be that way. They should have updated the back end of Contact a long time ago. And it should have been one of the first things we saw people playing with in regards to scripting assistants, like coding assistants. It really should have been. And the fact that they still haven't is not good. The fact that they have incorporated a small amount of AI into the mutator algorithm in the new Absinthe 6, and I don't know exactly what it's doing yet, but I'm sure it's very, very minimal what's happening there. Um, and they've only moved away from their algorithm, their original algorithm, for the sake of the ever expanding nature that AI brings to the table. So, like, that makes sense. But the fact that they haven't touched Contact in that regard is just straight up silly. And I totally agree about the unified interface. They've tried a few different times. Like, they were making a really good run at it with Core, and then they moved away from Core and they went to what, Complete Control, right? And then since we've had that, I feel like since they were taken over by the investment group, so much focus was put on marketing and sales that they took what was going to be a really great unifying system and they turned it into a way to sell more sound expansions to people and plugins. And uh, yeah, I think that was a mistake. I think that was a mistake. I'm really glad to see them put out Absinthe 6 though. It makes me excited. Rokusai saying, yeah, decent sampler scripting is much more simple and doable for a beginner. Just make your samples, write a little script, and it works. Getting smarter functions inside Contact is a pain. Yeah, and that's all well and good too. But I think that, and with all due respect, because I think that decent is great, it is decent, but it doesn't have. The underpinnings for scale and for something different at scale. I think that in 2026, we're going to see a myriad of options kind of bloom in regards to the sample world in general and like the type of tools that we see coming out. But the industry is absolutely ripe for someone to walk up with a tool that sits somewhere between Contact and SoundPaint. Or no, I mean, sorry, somewhere between SoundPaint and Decent, right? I think that Contact is just a step behind in usability on that side of for the common user. Um, it's just out of reach. It's just out of reach. And same with Reactor. Same with Reactor, and I think that that is why we've seen Max for Live uh, really build a huge fan following in the same exact window of time that we've seen Reactors shrink considerably. I think there's reasons for it. Yeah, 100%. Um, Roku saying, yeah, right now only UVI is really being different and being usable as an ecosystem. Initial buy in it is a bit higher, but it's a whole canvas for building your own stuff. It is, and it's also kind of technical and like their UI needs to be completely updated as well. Like like it's pretty hardcore in a lot of ways. So the tools are fantastic. It's just the surface level accessibility I think for people that's lacking really. I think I'm going to put a pin in this one and come back to it later. Um I don't know what we're going to call this one. Maybe we'll call it Oberlord since it sounds like an Oberheim right now. Um, I'll just call this a synth. Oberlord. If I can spell it correctly. That would actually be a great name for a pack, right? Oberlord. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I'll make a pack that's just like everything that you touch in the pack feels like it's coming out of an Oberheim and just call it Oberlord. Yeah. Little synth cat in flames floating in space on the cover of it. Be dope. Overlords. All right. All right. Like I said, I'm gonna put a pin in that one, and let's just initialize this thing, and let's do something different. uh, you guys know the feeling when you are working on a big project and you've had to hit pause on it, right? And you know exactly where you're going to pick up when you get back to it, right? But whatever you're doing next, like you can't really get past the surface level thought processes that are running for that project, like all the stuff that you want to do next in that project. It really interferes with progress with everything else. Don't forget to blink. Welcome in. Happy Wednesday, homie. Why am I the goat, man? Hope you're doing well over there. What y'all working on? Roku says, I really should make all my samples in the samplers in Bitwig into a pack. I have so many drones and pads. Rokusai, if you ever get serious about that, hit me up and let me know. I've got options and opportunities for a guy named Rokusai. You let me know. You let me know. What do you think? Mellow or weird? Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. Let's go into some analog. Oh, yeah. Oh, listen to that. Listen to that. Let's put this into a smooth. Bring this down. Dim the lights. Okay, so there's that sound. And then let's turn that off and get into... yeah, we'll do one more wavetable over here. And for that... Or actually, you know what? Let's not. Let's do, instead of a wavetable, let's do a spectral. And in here, we'll just load a wavetable and we'll see what we can get up to when we're playing with both. Whoa. Wow. Whoa. 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 Let's go forward reverse loop on this guy. Talk about some freaking magic right there. Like, that's basically just a magic spell waiting to happen. Let's bring the scan speed down on this. That was a weird bug. Just started playback from the end of the loop. Saffron saying what they did while keeping under the scene, they must have done a good job with the development under the radar. Yeah, for the Absinthe 6, yeah, they didn't like nothing leaked until right before the release, right? Don't forget to blink saying, "You are doing what I aspire to do, so you are the goat, mate." Cyber Gazelle vomiting. Oh my goodness. That's some weirdness. That's really weird. Oh, that's so weird. Hmm. Hmm. I'm kind of curious as to. I just realized that I haven't done much experimenting across the different oscillator modes and oscillator rendering. And I'm kind of wondering just how successful moving from the spectral mode output to a fresh wavetable instance actually is. Kind of curious about that. I want to turn this off. And let's turn this off. Yeah, just out of curiosity. Hmm. Fairly nondescript, really. Huh. I want to run a couple of experiments here. Let's get really weird for a minute. Let's grab like a dirty saw, maybe. Square. Okay, we're going to go into a smooth interpolation here, and let's just take this over here. And let's get into some more digital weirdness. This. Okay, and let's scan through both of these. And we'll just do like an envelope, and we'll say that it's just going to be like a bar. Yeah. Something like that. Hmm. Yeah, so the smooth interpolation really helps. Moving from spectral to wavetable leaves a lot of definition to be desired. But just using the smooth interpolation, I'm surprised it's taken me this long to actually run tests on the new renders. But that's a really smooth wavetable there. If I was to go here and go down an octave, bring this down, and put this over here, like yay. Oh gosh, let's take this off. Oh gosh. All right, let's put this into here. Oh, that's ridiculous. It's just stupid. Oh gosh. Hmm. Oh. Man, there's a lot of opportunity here in this little sound. Maybe we put this through the MG Dirty, huh? Okay, we're gonna get like dark and dangerous here with this guy. Let's just put this up to peak here. That's ridiculous. Uh, Danger, Will Robinson. Well, let's step up onto some overdrive here. Again. It's gonna be loud. Again. Oof. Oh my goodness. And now if we were to just simply like little bend plus here. Oof. Oh man. That's just disgusting. That's disgusting. Disgusting, I tell you. I don't know. I might come back to that. We'll just call this a little growl swell for now. And I need to run a bunch more tests on the render and resample functions with this smooth interpolation feature that was added in Serum 2. Okay, let's load up something granular here. Maybe non-tonal. Maybe a little perk. Maybe. How about a bottle? Bottle. Oh, well, that's happening so slowly. Let's slow that way down. It's awful quiet. Let's go into a reverse or a forward reverse loop here. We'll just kind of hold it here in this section that's kind of loud, sorta. Oh, it's so very quiet. Let's beef that up a little bit. We're going to load a sine wave here, and let's just drop the octave, and we're going to bring the level all the way down, switch over to warp. Let's put a little FM on this. That's a bit much, huh? Oh, this is such a quiet little sound. So we can actually use some distortion to bring that up, I think. Feel some sci-fi coming on here. Rokusai is saying, hey, OMLab, I definitely was thinking about how to format my drone samples. I love to keep them inside the Bitwig sampler, but to have scalability that doesn't fly well. I suppose contact is pretty much the only way to go if you need complex processing happening. Yeah, it depends on what you're trying to accomplish. Sound paint might be um, a little easier. It depends on exactly what you're trying to accomplish inside the sampler. But unless you want to be giving specifically dynamic control over those specific processes, uh, you could just bake them in to the sounds before you bring them into the sampler entirely. Um, that's the constant question of what do I do before and what do I do once inside of the sampler, right? Okay, pretty interesting sound there. Let's get a... Let's see if we can do a second granular here. Rokusai is saying, yeah, because the thing is, long form modulation that I play with when I build a patch inside the Bitwig sampler, I use the polygrid to build the instrument. So many macros I play with live when scoring with it. If I want that kind of control in contact, I either need to learn how to code properly or find someone who can. Yeah, that is a fact and a half right there. I'd love people to have the patches as I use them as opposed to just baked in. Yeah, so for something like that, you really do want something really robust, and something like Contact would give you the ability to dial up a whole bunch of knobs, right? And and sliders. I will say this, though. I will say this is that for something complex like that, knowing you, you've probably set up a bit of a template situation over there inside of Bitwig. And all you really have to do is recreate that type of thing one time inside of Contact and then continually feed it different sounds, right? So the process of building it um, is a lot. But it's not something that you have to keep recreating if you were wanting to put out, like a series of these things and have them, uh, provide that kind of continuity for people. Um, but yeah, dude, there's always going to be a step down when you're moving from the synth to the sampler, no matter what. There's always going to be. It's more about like what could you introduce via the sampler that you can't really get from the synth. That's how I try to look at it. Is like what kind of other elements could I bring in and layer with these components to bring a more complete or immersive feeling for a soundscape or maybe atmosphere being brought in with the drones and the sampler is kind of a nice little kind of update uh, or something like that. Yeah. Roku saying true. Some things are mandatory in my patches. I did think about selling it to Bitwig as a polygrid patch sample pack. Yeah. I mean, there's so many different options in how you get your stuff out there. If you do that, of course, it's limited to just the folks within the Bitwig community, and of course, then just those who are um, feeling aligned with it. But I personally feel like your stuff, if put into a larger marketplace, dude, you would have a large following of people because you would be crossing a lot of demographic borders. You would be capturing the attention of music makers and producers and sound designers, right? The traditional sound designers, right? Putting sound to picture, film editors, uh, and now content creators, right? You'd be surprised. There's a lot of folks that are more and more savvy by the day. And they may just be, running a podcast or something like that, but they're using synth patches to make all of their ambient bed work or whatever. There's just so many different use case scenarios out there nowadays. Um, it would be worth looking at. But again, it's also a time sink of a sort. Not that you'd be making content for this specifically, but it does take a little bit of time to create and button things up and deliver them and all that. Yeah, yeah. The scalability question is the bigger one. I feel like when you're going to make contributions to a smaller community versus the larger open marketplace of the industry, so to speak, um, uh, they can be kind of loss leaders in a way, right? Like something that can bring people back, like some breadcrumbs, bring them back to a larger destination where they can find more of your stuff. Because there's one thing that's true is that if you do decide to put some stuff out there like that, people will probably want more, and then you just have to ask yourself if you're up for that, what kind of prioritization you want to give to it, and um, yeah, I personally think that if you were to make some sample instruments instead of just releasing some sounds um, or something specific to one tool, you would probably captivate more people than you're anticipating. Yeah, yeah, because you've got such a full and wonderful sound, in all of the things that you touch. So. Which one is that? That's this one down. This one. So C. C. Send this to 1 and 2 and into. Let's shave off a little bit of those highs. Actually, not do that. Roku saying, yeah, I'm active in the Bitwig forums. It's a small niche community, and most of them are sound designers themselves with the skill set, so it's not really an audience. I talked to Polarity a couple of times. He's one of the head guys for Bitwig's content team and said the same to me, where it would probably be smarter to go with Contact because of the mass appeal. To be fair, I just hate building a patch in Contact. Yeah, I would be hesitant to encourage anyone to step in to Contact as a developer right in this very moment, because I think that we're right on the precipice of a sea change event. But that said, I do think that uh, your stuff has legs, and that uh, it needs to be sold in a marketplace or a couple of marketplaces that cross the demographic borders that I was talking about earlier. So you're selling to uh, folks that are producing for both speaker and screen alike. So, partnering with a couple of different storefronts might be a wise decision there. A company like Ghost Hack, for instance, who has reach into both the cinematic and the music making side of the spectrum for like a general marketplace, a sound effect as a community based marketplace that is speaking largely to sound designers. Um, yeah, yeah, I can think of a few different avenues for you there. Um, but encouraging you to do it all inside of Contact right now is not something I would probably do, just because there are other tools that are beating it right now in regards to making things more accessible uh, on in advanced tools, right? Um, like SoundPaint, right? Um, and there's others too, and there's others on the horizon too. Uh, but I just think that in general, 2026 is going to be a bit of a sea change event year for things on the sampling front. I do. Yeah, I know, right? Rokusai saying it's like, why are Contact and Reactor separate? They need to be one thing. Yeah, Piano Book has become a good one too. I think that similar to Decent, it's lacking a certain component for um, uh, pack separation. You know what I mean? Like from like something that is unique that will allow them to survive at scale. I think that the next company that does in that space will be largely drag and drop. That onboard controls will be largely surface level and not hidden in sub menus. That most features will be synth like and not sampler like, in that synths have done a good job evolving over the years and making their uh, you know form, function, and intention all above board and very noticeable, recognizable. Samplers, not so much. So yeah, a little bit more WYSIWYG, a little bit more drag and drop oriented, and I don't think that in any way takes away from what can be done with a tool. I think that it's just asking the tool to meet people where they are in regards to how they expect to get their sounds into a tool and how quickly they start to expect to, uh, begin using them in earnest. Yeah. Let's heat this thing up. We could use a little distortion on this, eh? Now this is after distortion, or I mean after reverb right now, so this is going to be quite a bit more inflated compared to if we were to put this up above. But I'm gonna actually do this after the reverb just to see what kind of stuff we can start to pull out of there. Okay, so we just put in this really egregious sub, so let's go in here and we're just going to put in an EQ. We're going to contain that way up here at the top of our chain so it's not causing an issue for us. Okay, now I'm also going to put in a little more distortion. Oops, not another equalizer, a distortion. There we go. I'm going to put this one after our initial equalizer and before our time-based effects. And this one, we're just going to play with a little bit of degradation. Let's downsample here. Okay, that's pretty good. We're going to put a filter in here. And this filter is going to be moved up after the first distortion. Actually, before the first distortion, after the first equalizer. And in here, we're going to do a little maybe sample and hold here. Rokusai saying, yeah, I don't mind accessibility for the user at all. All I really care about is if my patches translate sonically the same to different platforms. I do lots of wavetable scanning and convolution meshing in real time. If the only if the user only has three knobs, but they are knobs of God, then hell yeah. Yeah, see that's the thing is the sampler of the future is going to be kind of macro driven the same way that Serum and Massive are and other similar synths, but it's why most of these synths have adopted a play mode and an edit mode, right? The two views, and in the play mode, it's just the macros and the volume knob, and then the mod wheel and pitch pen, and that's it. I think it's um, the synth of the future allows us as developers to um, just simply drag the parameters into play for macros the same way that we do in synths, and that um, all the algorithmic routing and everything is happening on the fly in the background. So um, I think this is the truth of, or like the way forward. Honestly, with all of our instruments, you can't gain that kind of flexibility and then take it away, or kind of deviate from those expectations once they're in place. I think. Um, okay, I was just about to add something here, and what was it? Oh, I was going to add a bode. Now this guy should probably happen again. It's before uh, our delay. Hmm. Yeah, I think I'll put it here for right now. That's feeling all right there. All right, I think I'll put a pin in this one and circle back to it in a bit. Pretty interesting one. Pretty interesting one. What am I calling these right now? I do have some atmospheres in here, so we'll call this an Atmos for now. Um, and we'll just call this, I don't know, station ambience for right now. Great. Oh, speaking of atmospheres and Serum 2, there was a new video released on the Ghost Hack channel today. It is from me, and you can go and grab yourself a free Serum 2 atmosphere from that. Um, this guy right here. Oops. They've got a link here in the description for you. It's a fun little atmosphere for you guys. Oh, I should give you the link for that, though. There you go. Go grab yourself a free preset. Next. Let's do some signs. More presets. We're going to put this guy up just a little bit. little FM here. All right, we're going to put FM control over here. And here on macro 6. All right, we'll call that FM. And we're going to put these through a shared filter for now. Put an EQ in here, and we're just going to take some of this low end out. Hmm. Hmm. Oh, maybe I should go back in here really quick here. Call this one shape. Keys. Making more keys. This one's just going to be a super basic, I think. And we'll relabel that. There we go. You know what I'd like to do is I would like to update some of my patches. I would. It's been a minute since I've touched the Undone collection. Okay, so let's switch this from phase distortion to yeah, I should update this whole collection. This is a great collection. I haven't played with this in some time. Well, I don't know about y'all, but I feel like stretching my legs a bit. Man, talk about a super chill stream, huh? I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to get up and move around a bit. Let's see who's doing their thing on Twitch right now. See if anybody's up. No plan, just jam. Sander Klepper, he's got a little modular jam happening. We're going to go say hi. Hey, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me for a bit today. Don't forget to go grab your free Serum 2 preset from the latest Ghost Hack YouTube video that we put up. Also, make sure you hit the Ghost Hack website and get your daily dose of free from the holiday advent calendar. There's something new every single day for free. And if you want some more OhmLab or Sound Freak stuff, go grab it. It's 80% off right now, all sounds. The code is BF2025. Go spend a couple bucks and treat yourself. Get yourself something shiny and new. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you in 2 days' time on Feedback Friday. Make sure you show up early and get yourself in line early to be heard. It's probably going to be busy as we get closer to the holidays here. I think that's it. That's all I got for you. I'll see you guys on the flip. Peace out.